Yes, guys, welcome back to Meathead Mentality. It's your boy Mungo the Mammoth, and we are here with Connor Launder. Connor Launder is a bodybuilder which I've looked up to since day one of my training and ever since I got into bodybuilding. From early age, and since I basically even started, like literally day one, from watching Connor, watching him do his training content, watching him do all his things on YouTube because he started posting when he was about my age, about 18. So seeing someone like that do what he was doing at my age literally just sparked that passion in for me. So yeah, I want to let Connor introduce himself to the people and what's happening, Connor.
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me on. Uh,
Awesome.
yeah, I'm a junior competitive bodybuilder from the UK. Like Mungo said, I've been posting since 17, 18 years old. Been bodybuilding for like 6 or 7 years, something like that now. And yeah, I just like to document it. So it's been across all platforms, really, like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, since pretty much the beginning. So I mean, yeah, like that's really it. Obviously, there's gonna be I could obviously list off like what shows I've done and stuff, but yeah, I'm a competitive bodybuilder who likes to document my journey.
Yeah, for sure. So Connor, where did you grow up? Like, where did you have your childhood? Where did you grow up?
So I grew up in South London. I grew up in Croydon in South London.
Yeah,
Um, so that is well, I grew up in South London. I moved to Croydon for like when I was in secondary school. So my main port past like my main my main childhood is what I'd say. Like secondary school was all in Croydon, really,
yeah,
which is sort of where I got into bodybuilding. Was around that sort of time and that place. Um, Back when there was like James Hollingshead and King's Gym was the original King's Gym there. That was sort of that time, really.
yeah. So would you say in terms of training and physique building, would you say it was start from just being around Croydon, being near King's Gym? Like, did it come off that, or was it someone in your family or friend which basically got you into that idea of like, I'm going to do bodybuilding?
Um, so it's a bit of everything, really. I was always sporty. Like I used to play football, so I'd always want to go to the gym, but it was mainly to either look better or just be more athletic. So it wasn't specific like weight training. It's more like explosive, like power training, right? Um, I've got my sister's a personal trainer, so she was always kind of getting me into it a little bit. And then my friend who's also my client now. Um, he was into bodybuilding at the same or getting into the gym slash bodybuilding at the same sort of time I was. And I remember he mentioned to me about going to King's on one of the weekends, and we were like, yeah, we'll go have a look. So we went down for like a day pass, went and trained, and like it just sparked from that. Like
Yeah,
I remember seeing because I knew nothing about bodybuilding. I probably knew like Ronnie Coleman. That was probably about it, really. Um, just from this Netflix film. That was literally like all I remember really from that time. And going into that gym, I think I was incredibly lucky to go to that gym on that day because not that I knew it at the time, but James was training in there. James Hollingshead was training with Jordan Peters in there, and
oh
I
mate,
didn't know who they were. I was I just remember seeing it and being like,
that's a
what the
lucky
fuck?
sight.
I remember because I never really ever saw anyone that big. Definitely
Yeah,
not in person. Um, and it was like James. I remember it so clearly that James was peak off season, and he wasn't even pro yet, and he had a vest on, and
the
from
Red Com One videos was around
um
this time. Was it before that? Sorry
no
to
no no
interrupt
no
you,
no
but
before it was right before that he turned pro in
see,
2017.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. Was it
so
before you
it
turned
was
pro?
yeah just before he turned pro I think. So he had a vest on and it was just so much back hair coming out the back. And he looked
Yeah,
like a fucking bear. And I remember seeing it and I was like, what the fuck? That's disgusting. Um, and then it kind of just sparked from there. I was like, that's pretty cool actually. I'm gonna train like that. Um, and it took me like progressions. Like at first I was like wanting to go down the men's physique route because like they were cool.
mm,
And then classic started popping off. So I was like, classic sick. And then it's just, I was like, oh, fuck, man, I just want to get massive. I just want to do what these lot are doing.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
shifting weight and getting as big as possible, man. I'd love to do that.
Well, that must have been a sight. Jordan Peters and James Hollingshead going at
Mate, I remember, I don't think me and my friend, we didn't go back to Kings for like 3 months afterwards because I was like
it.
terrified. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I was like, I'm gonna go back to my gym and like learn a little bit of how to train and then I'll go
Yeah,
back. Yeah.
especially when you first start and like everyone's like big who's like looks decent, but like if you see someone like that, mad. So just
There
imagine.
were so many good amateurs in there at that time as well who are now pro, and they were all coming up at the same sort of time. Like, Connor the real deal, Connor Fairburn. He's now a pro.
No, I don't know.
Um, he was in there when he was an amateur. Obviously, James was in there. James's old training partner, Louis Moylan. He never turned
I
pro,
know who he is.
a classic competitor at
Yeah,
the time. He was classic British champion at that time. Like the gym, and I'd never seen bodybuilders in real life at this point. And I walked into that and I was like, fuck, man, this is such a level up from like the leisure center that I was training at.
yeah.
Yeah.
What happened to Kings Croydon? Because I don't know too much about Kings. Is like I know it's gone downhill. I mean, I know that, but I don't actually know what actually happened to Kings and stuff in terms of the bodybuilding community in it.
I I would say it became very commercialized.
Mm,
Um, I do joke around with a few people who were there before me that I kind of feel like I started it a little bit.
yeah,
I think I was like one of the first people to start going there, of like a younger age at least, to
yeah.
start going there and like putting a tripod in front of me and filming. No one was really doing that apart from like James, who had a videographer. Um, I'm obviously not going to take the blame, but I feel like I kind of kickstarted a few more people going there. It was always a hotspot for like Vanquish or Gymshark to do shoots there at the time because it was a very cool looking gym. Um, and then I think they just wanted to expand, which is fair enough. They're a business at the end of the day. Obviously, they opened multiple locations, and it just became less about bodybuilding and more about making money. And it was quite obvious to see that the lack of care just became more apparent. Bits of kit were breaking, it wasn't getting fixed. They were buying new kit that was like fucking shit, just because it looks cool.
Yeah,
Not buying kit because it's good or anything like that. It's just like it's probably cheaper and it makes the gym look cool.
yeah.
So
It just gets
it
blamed.
just seemed like
Yeah,
the whole narrative of it shifted to make money
business.
rather than
Yeah,
bodybuilding, which it is a shame because it was a fantastic gym and it still is a good gym. It's just not what it used to be. That's the thing.
yeah. I mean, that's the problem with gym nowadays. It's the clientele of actual like hardcore bodybuilding is like it's so niche now. There's no money in it, and they're not
Yeah,
going to make a profit by focusing that's a vibe when the lifestyle and the more general population vibe is going to make the most money. And end of the day, it's a business, isn't it? So
of
it's a
course.
shame, but it's just what happens, isn't it?
Yeah.
So on the back of you saying you were the first person to go in there and set up a tripod, what actual age did you first like post your content? Why did you post it so young? Like what made you post your content so young? Because obviously posting content isn't something that it does take a bit balls to start with.
Definitely. I remember being really inspired by, I don't even think he's like popular anymore in terms of like influencers or whatever, but back when I first started following like fitness YouTube, I guess, and Instagram, there was this guy, he was sponsored by Gymshark. Was it Gymshark? Gymshark or Alpha Elite, I think it was Gymshark, um, from Australia called Zach Perner. And he was just he wasn't massive at the time. I probably thought he was, but he wasn't massive. And he just posted like workouts, and I was like, this is sick. This is really cool. And I was training already, and I was like, I saw that he was obviously doing it, and I did have somewhat of a passion for like videography and filming and photos
Mm.
at the time because I always have, and I was like, why don't I just try it and do it? I got ripped for it at school. Because I think
Yeah,
my Instagram
yeah,
back
we
then
all
was,
do.
yeah. I think my Instagram back then was Fitness Launder. And I think I started posting when I was in year 10, year 9. No, year
Yeah,
10.
some of the
Um,
worst years to post, and that is,
yeah,
yeah,
and you get the older kids taking the mic, and then your kid in the year take the mic, and it is what it is. But like, I then started to relate it to like football, so like doing like workouts to improve your football and stuff, and then it
Yeah,
kind of became somewhat accepted in the school place, I guess. Um, but then I think I really started posting bodybuilding content when I went to Kings like properly. I started going like because I lived really close to it. So I once I got over my fear of going back, I was probably going at least twice a week, 3 times a week, after school, and I started filming those, and I started getting quite a lot of views quite quickly. And I was like, well, I really want to fucking just keep doing that. Like, I just threw everything into filming for that at that point.
yeah. It's crazy because like people always take the piss out of you at the beginning, but you've got to start somewhere, haven't you? You know, people you
Exactly.
can't just sort of become this massive bodybuilding influencer just out of nowhere. You got to take the shit at the beginning. So
Yeah.
that's crazy.
I think it's also cooler to start from the very beginning because then you have something to look back at. If
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
build your physique to Phil Heath and then start posting, people are only going to know you for that. They're not going to know
Yeah.
you
It's
from.
your journey. Yeah. From
I think
it's it.
the journey is the most valuable bit for
Yeah.
people to learn from.
If anyone's watching and haven't seen Connor's videos, I highly recommend you go back on his YouTube account, which I'll link in the YouTube, and just watch them. Like you can just see the journey of like when you were 18, 19 in Kings, training to like where you are now. Like it's just insane. Like even though it's not that many years,
Mm.
process that you've gone through is like it's so it's just a whole like career. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And
It's
seeing that,
it is really cool to be able to look back, like especially when you start getting into competing. I think like I do it all the time when I'm especially when I was prepping. I'd like to go back and watch the older videos because it does spark a little bit of motivation. It's like okay, like some days you
this is where you
start
came from.
yeah, and you see the beginning and you're like okay, cool. Just focus. It does help a lot, and it's I've always thought of it as posting as a whole. I've always thought of it like our grandparents have picture books, for example, that they show
Mm.
us of their memories. This is our version of that. So when we have kids or grandkids or whatever, and we want to show them what we were doing when we were 20, teenagers, we've got fucking loads of it. And they can literally relive what we did, which is really cool. I think that's one of my like bigger things is the fact that I can look back with in the far future and like relive everything.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot. I know there's a side to social media which people like shit on people who like post like what they do, post their training. But what you're saying is like really important because at the end of the day, yeah, you're gonna remember things in your head you've done, but there will be things you've trained, I don't know, sets you've done which have been insane, insane like just mental sets that you might forget. If you
Yeah,
actually film them, you can look back and think, damn, that was
mm,
really good.
yeah,
And also the fact you can show other people. It's just it's as you said, it's like an online journal. That's what it is. It's an online journal of your progression, your journey. And I
yeah.
think everyone should, if they want to look back, should do it for sure.
Mm. And not only that, but it's if you can spark motivation in someone else
Exactly, yeah.
to even start, like it doesn't matter how far they take it, but to even start, that's powerful. Like that's awesome. So like if you think of it like being able to help one person out of however many views you get or how many followers or likes, you've done something good. So
Absolutely. I mean, like I said right at the beginning, I used to like when I first like started when I was like 17, I would like post content like delete it like 5 seconds later because I didn't like the way it looked. But then
mm,
I found people like you on YouTube and I saw like it was just like raw, uncut footage. It was just like not everything's perfect. Not
yeah,
everything's perfectly filtered and it's all sort of, bang on editing. And that's what laid the foundation. I'm just gonna post and fuck it. I'm not gonna look back. I'm just gonna do it. And I'm guaranteed there's probably hundreds of people that you've influenced to do that as well, to post and also to get into bodybuilding itself. So yeah,
yeah. I do think I think that's a massive part of it. Because I remember when I first kind of started going to Kings quite often was when do you know Nathaniel Messiah?
yeah, the powerlifting, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So we actually grew up like right next to each other without knowing until we went to Kings. And and we met each other there. And he was that's when he started like blowing up on YouTube like a lot.
Yeah, I
Um,
remember. Yeah,
and he was really motivational for me in terms of like posting because he was doing it like so professionally. Um, I remember like obviously he I think one of his videos that blew up was him like getting like all nines in his GCSEs or something. And then he was posting video. I think he was going at a point where he was posting like twice a day. And like I remember I was doing like once or twice a week, and I was like, damn, I need to step up my game. So it's like you can get motivated really quickly and like really
yeah, yeah.
easily from these types of people.
Do you know someone called Jay Davies?
Yeah, yeah. Joel,
Yeah,
Joel.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah. His posting's like mad. Have you seen that? All his edits and
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
that's so motivating. Like his YouTube and just everything he does, like even like the captions or the endings of videos, all professionally like it's
Mm,
just flawless. It's effort and time. And
yeah,
those little things that you were saying, just those like just twice a day instead of twice a week, just that just lets that spark in you to keep going and just be more consistent, put more effort in.
yeah, 100%.
So I just want to basically just go through a little bit about your athletic background because I know myself because obviously I've watched your videos. You played football, but probably a lot of people won't know that. And I also know you played to quite a good degree of football.
Yeah.
So can you just touch on your early athletic background before bodybuilding became your main thing?
Yeah, I pretty much played every sport. Like at school, I was in the team for everything, really. But football was my main focus and my main goal. Obviously, when I wanted to be a footballer, I wanted to do all of that. Um, I had a few like trials with clubs, but the main thing that got pushed for me was I played for England schoolboys, which is essentially they get all the best. So originally I played for England South, so they got all the best schools in the south of England, and then they had a few players from each school make a team, and then they did the same in the north, and then the north played the south, and then they picked a team to play for England, um, which I was lucky enough to be a part of, which was really really cool. Um, like we played against Australia. We had like international matches played against clubs. So when clubs were having their like pre-season, we would be
Yeah,
the team to go in and play them. Um, we did like England training camps where we were at the actual England training ground. It was fantastic. Like we were treated like professional footballers, which was awesome. Um, and I remember just getting to a level where I remember looking around the change room and I was like, I'm good, but I'm not this good. Like
yeah,
these guys are next level. And I was actually content with it. I was like, I thought I was gonna be like a bit salty about it or like, oh, I don't know. Basically annoyed. I wasn't at all. I genuinely looked around and I was like, I'm happy that I got to this point and I'm happy to leave it here. Don't get me wrong, every now and again I look back and I'm like, I wish I kind of carried on a bit. But nevertheless, man, I knew it kind of transitioned at the same time. I was getting into bodybuilding at the time that I was kind of falling out of love with football a bit.
yeah,
So it was quite an easy transition to just be like, right, I'm just going to throw all my eggs into bodybuilding. Um, and like I said at the start, it was more towards because I was watching YouTubers and stuff. It was more towards I wanted to do like fitness modeling slash like Christian Guzman type, like make a brand, have a YouTube channel, do that type of thing. Um, and as I got more and more invested into the actual scene, it became more of like a competitive bodybuilder goal rather than like an influencer kind of thing. Um, Obviously, they kind of go hand in hand now if you're doing both, but yeah, I mean, I was athletic from day one. I grew up like my whole family was, so I was kind of not forced into it, but like pushed towards sports the whole
yeah,
life. My original plan was to actually go before I decided that I was going to stop football. I was going to go to America to pursue like a degree at a uni and play football there.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That was my plan. And I got conditional offers from a few. I got conditional offer from UCLA, so I could have gone to LA. I think I can't remember the grades they needed me to get, but to be honest, I don't think I actually would have got the grades. I one thing I do regret about that time is I put so much into sport and into the gym. I did neglect school quite a lot. Um, and it showed towards the end, to be honest. Like grades didn't go where they wanted them to. So bodybuilding did feel when football felt like it was finishing, bodybuilding felt like my way out. Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it was yeah. I think from there I went to Hartpury College in Gloucester, and I did like it was like a fitness degree. It was like a BTEC in fitness.
Yeah,
Um, So I it basically just had to, it got me qualifications to work in a gym. That was all I wanted to do so that I could go to a gym and then
yeah.
just figure out what I wanted to do from there, which then led to obviously online and everything like that.
So you didn't go to university then? Yeah. Yeah, I understand that, mate, completely. Like it's the thing about studying is it's a lot of effort into it, and balancing that out with everything you're talking about is it's very difficult because it's not just like you're not working, it's you're so focused on that one goal to like even like look at other things which are separate from it is so difficult because you're just thinking about that all the time.
Yeah.
So
I remember so like the type of dedication and commitment you see from like a bodybuilder and prep. I was like that with football. Like I would wake
yeah,
up before I was supposed to, or before like a normal school kid would wake up for school so that I could go for a run, come
yeah,
home, eat, go to school. I would take food with me so that I could eat in between. I would go do extra training at lunch, come back, get back to lessons, training after school. I was on it. Like I
yeah,
was so in football that school did not matter to me at the time. I just blocked it
yeah,
out. My lesson time was like think about what I'm going to do on the weekend for football. How am I going to play? What am I going to do? I was so in deep that I let all the academic side, not all of it, but most of the academic side got pushed to the side.
yeah.
Um, which I'm sure my parents probably wouldn't want to hear, but it was the reality. I was just so driven to do this one thing. And I mean, it's the same with bodybuilding, like completely.
I know what you talk about. You talk about it was it is it called ISFA now? Like
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah. It's fun.
English, yeah, yeah. Because when I went to school, there were quite a few people who were in that, and they go to St. George's Park, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It was
it's crazy.
yeah,
It's a fantastic facility, isn't it? It's very good level as well, very high level.
yeah. It
You know,
was. There were quite a few boys there who actually ended up going pro, which is really cool to see. Like I see a few. I remember I put the football on the weekends, and I see a couple of the boys that I either went to school with or played with there, and I'm like, they're making fucking thousands a week,
yeah.
and I'm I'm here eating my sixth chicken and rice. Yeah.
So being in that environment of that high level, basically just high level football, how do you think that transpired into bodybuilding? What do you think you mainly got from that experience of football and then put it into bodybuilding?
I would say the dedication side to it, but I
Yeah,
think the main part for me was learning to be coachable. I think what you find with a lot of bodybuilders these days is that they either claim or they just aren't coachable. Like they won't listen, or they think they know best, they do their own thing, or they struggle to kind of follow plans. I was always on it with my coach at football. Like I was always doing extra stuff, trying to get this coach to help me do more and do more and do more. So I find when I come to bodybuilding with a coach, I think if I was to coach myself, I would end up doing fuck all. I think I would do
yeah,
everything wrong because it's what I want to enjoy rather than what I need to do. A
yeah,
coach,
yeah,
I'm so good at just switching off and being like, this is what I need to do. Cool. He says I'll do it, I'll do it. Rather
yeah,
than me picking
yeah.
bench press because I enjoy it when I don't need a bigger chest at the moment. I need a bigger back. Do you know what I mean?
I understand what you're saying. Yeah, that that's actually that's very interesting because a lot of people actually said the opposite to that. Like they say, actually, independently, I can make my own decisions. That's actually better for me. But what you're saying is, it's almost like the military. Like you're saying, the commander saying this, this, and that. You're like, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. Military
Yeah.
operation. You know what you're doing, because otherwise you'll do things like you said, which aren't really going to benefit you in the long term, or what your goal is at that period of time, which is actually really interesting.
Yeah, I think
Um,
it's definitely a case of just I enjoy being told what to. If I respect the person and I know the person is going to help me, I enjoy being told do this, do that because I will do it. Rather than having to make those decisions for myself.
so obviously transferring from football into bodybuilding, what sparked the actual? like the initial thought of, right, I'm going to do a bodybuilding show. I'm actually going to compete in bodybuilding, not going to just to go into the gym. I'm actually going to compete in a show.
Um, I I think to be honest, it was probably just being around Kings. At that time, it was a lot of competitors training there, and they were all like big bodybuilders. So that probably got me. That was what I think got me into watching bodybuilding and following it rather than just kind of knowing about it. Um, I think I was signed up to the JP site within my first like 3 months of being at
Oh
Kings
yeah.
because I was like, okay, I need to learn more about this because I really know nothing at this point. And I remember people talking about him. I made friends with a few people at the gym who like work there and stuff, and they were all wearing JP, and I was like, oh, what's that? Learn about it. Joined his site, watched videos meticulously, like they were homework. Like I was watching it and
Yeah.
making. I've got books somewhere where I've like got hundreds of pages of just like reiterated notes from Jordan. Um, and I think watching them train was probably what sparked my interest in being like, I think I could do that. I do think I got into the headspace of wanting to compete probably too early, but then at the same time, I think, as in, I got into the headspace of wanting to compete too early because of social media.
Yeah.
Um, But at the same time, I do think it was valuable for me because I learned a lot about what I can and can't do in terms of like limitations, in terms of how hard I can push in a diet. Like I learned a lot, and I because I did that so young, moving forward into my next prep, into my next off season, into my next whatever phase, felt a lot easier because I'd experienced the hard bit quite early.
Yeah. What, so just for the people listening, can we just time scale this? So just give us like a rough like year and like age of like basically when you did football and then when you went to Kings and then like what time like you first competed, just so everyone knows like the
Yeah,
time
yeah.
scale of it all.
So I was playing football up until I was 17. So no, sorry, yes. About I think I was either 17 or just turning 18. It was around that time when I stopped playing football. But I started going to the gym when I was 17. So I was doing a bit of both at the same time towards the end of football. Um, and then I did my first ever show. I did my first ever show when I was 18. So I'd been bodybuilding training probably for about a year and a half until I did my
That is
first.
early. That is
Yeah.
early.
So I'd been training, but it was more like arms and push-ups and shit. And then it
Yeah.
became um again even when it became bodybuilding training, it still wasn't great, but it was better. Um and then I did my first show when I was 18 and my second show was when I was 19 because it was around my birthday. So it was the same prep, but it was just like a month apart. Um so yeah, it was about a year and a half, just over maybe for of bodybuilding training for my first show.
How old are you now? About 22.
I turned 23 in October, so I'm
Oh,
in my
nice.
last year as a junior.
Yeah. What a look that was. Crazy,
Thanks.
man. So can you take us through your first contest prep at 18? Because I think that'd be really interesting. Because I actually don't know a lot about your first contest.
Yeah, yeah. I what was I doing? So I'd just finished college because of COVID, because COVID hit. So college was basically just at home. So I started training. I was at my dad's house who had like a power rack and a bar. I basically trained off that for a lot of it. Then I moved out. Once college was technically finished, I moved out and got my own flat when I lived with Marvin. Um, and I moved back to Croydon. So I started going to Kings. I was training. I had Josh Bridgman. Josh Bridgman was my coach.
One more rep guy.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
So he was my coach, my first ever coach. And the prep was fairly simple. It was fairly straightforward. Obviously, being young, being so little muscled, it was like food had to go really fucking low, cardio
Yeah.
had to go pretty fucking high. It's a nasty prep. It's not fun compared to when you've got more muscle. Like it's just a little bit different. Um, but I mean, I wouldn't say it was anything out of the ordinary. It was like I think my cardio probably got to like an hour daily. Um, Steps were quite high. Food was probably around 1,200 calories, which was
Trenches.
yeah, not fun. I remember doing the zero carb rest days for the first time.
Oh,
Brutal, but no, in all honesty, I don't think I've got anything bad to say about my first prep, to be honest. Um, I I just ticked every box. I knew what I wanted to do, and I just like I said earlier, Josh told me what to do, and I just did it. Like it was such an easy It didn't feel difficult for me to kind of do that. Obviously, it was hard because I'd never felt this way. I'd never prepped before, obviously.
yeah.
Um, but in order to be told what to do and just to do it, I was like, this is
Mhm.
sound. It's simple.
It goes back to what you were saying about football. The fact is that your character obviously is reacts very well to a sort of military sort of style of coaching, right? This is what you could do. This is how you got to do it. Like you do with football, you're very religiously
Mm.
dedicated in how you did that. Prep was, yeah, it's different, but in terms of the fundamental discipline, it's basically it's very similar, just in a
Yeah,
different way.
yeah,
So
exactly.
what show was your what show was your first show? Like which one
My
was it?
my first ever show was the Two Rows JT Grand Prix. I did juniors, and it was just me and one other guy, who was so out of shape. So I won, which was awesome. I loved it. Looking back, I was like, I wish other people did it as well. But I had a great time. I enjoyed it as a first show. And then 2 weeks, I think, or 3 weeks later, I did PCA London, which was a really good lineup. I did juniors there as well. It was a really good lineup. I think I got fourth in that show, but I think there was 8 or 9 of us, and
That's
all the
fucking good.
guys. I was happy with it, but you just come off the high from winning the first show.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like it felt hard, but to be honest, looking back, I was like, all the guys that finished in front of me are now like smashing it within their sort of bodybuilding anyway. So I was like, this is pretty cool. I'm happy with it. And then my original plan was to then go forward and do the Arnold Classic UK because it was the first time they had an Arnold in the UK. Um, but I pulled out because I was too hungry. I
Yeah.
at that point I was like I can't keep doing it because it was like another 4 week wait for another show. So I was like I'm just gonna leave it here. Like I'm not gonna win the Arnold. So I was like I'm happy to leave it. Um, and then we went into a bigger. That's when I met Tom Haynes at the Arnold and then inquired with him for coaching in 2021 or 22. I can't remember.
Yeah. What was the look like? The Tubers, your first show.
It was good.
What
It
was
was
it?
good. I was pretty fucking lean to be fair. Like for my first ever diet, like first ever like bodybuilding diet, striated quads. I was just small. That was it. Like I was just small.
Mm,
But the muscle bellies looked good. Like I was
yeah.
really happy with the look.
Clubs have always been like mental, haven't they? Like, and you know that, like your legs have always been insane.
Yeah,
So
yeah. They've been. I've never had like legs being a weak point. In comparison to my other body parts. So it's like it's always been. I think I've had striated quads since I was fucking playing football, to be honest.
yeah, and footballers do have decent legs, don't they? Just from just doing all the explosive exercise, like you were saying, just being on that field all day.
Yeah, yeah.
So, what would you say you learned the most about your first prep? Like, what set the tone for the next prep the year later when you were 19, and like what you were doing?
Um, I don't think there's anything that's like massive like I said, it was fairly simple and straightforward for me to follow orders and follow a prep. So it wasn't like a shock to the system to do stuff like that. I think the main thing was just how hard it can be and how like shit you can feel.
Yeah,
And basically just how you have to get through or past that bit. Other than that, I wouldn't obviously I learned about like how my body works and stuff like that, but I like mentally it's more just what can I get through kind of thing.
yeah. So, how did your next season, when you were 19, go? What shows did you do then? How did that go?
I what did I do? I took when I was 19, I took 19 off. I did an off season, and then I did. I'm getting confused now. I did the PCA Yorkshire in 2023. So I competed in 2021, took 2022 off, competed in 2023.
Oh, is that when you won the overall?
Um, at which show?
Can't remember now. I know you did win an overall, didn't you? I know you did.
What winning
Was
overall? I haven't won an overall, not yet.
I don't know what show it was. I might just be bugging. I think did you win your class at PCA Yorkshire?
Yeah, I won my class at PCA Yorkshire. I did
Yeah.
do the overall. I didn't win it.
Sorry, I'm
No,
bugging.
no, it's cool. Yeah, I did PCA Yorkshire. I won the juniors there, and then I did two bros. I did TBF takedown. I won the juniors, and I won the light heavyweights.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
that's what I was on about, the light heavyweights. I think that's what I was on about.
and then I was in the overall for that. Obviously I didn't win that, and then we ended up. Oh yeah, so the plan was then to go do the PCA British and the two bros British, which were on the same weekend. So I was going to do a Saturday show and a Sunday show. But the week before, my digestion just went west. Like everything went wrong. Um, I wasn't able to like go to the toilet. Nothing was coming out. Everything was holding. Everything was sticking. Water was just building up. It just everything kind of went off. And we did manage to kind of pull it back in for PCA. I wasn't happy. No, sorry, for two bros because that was the first one on Saturday. And I won the juniors at the British. I was the only one, so I don't in my head I don't count it. And then I came third in the light heavyweights that year, out of six. So I was pretty happy with that, considering I wasn't on. I was pretty happy
Yeah.
with that. And then we went to PCA the next day, and I think I came fifth in the British finals at PCA. But I was so off. Like I remember I look back at it and I'm just like I probably shouldn't have stepped on that stage. Like I looked full and I looked big, but like all the detail was gone. And it's the same judges that I had at that show that I had at the PCA Yorkshire who saw me like 2 weeks ago or 2 weeks
Yeah.
prior. Saw
Yeah.
me and they're obviously just going to be like, well, you've got worse. So I placed fifth, which was heartbreaking because the PCA British was like my Olympia in my head. Um, that sort of like killed me, man. So I took another year off then, which was 2024. So I did 2022, sorry, 2021, 2023, 2024, took 2025, no, sorry, took 2025 four off, and then competed this year, 2025.
Yeah.
Um, and I did the two row Scottish
Yeah.
this
I remember.
year.
If anyone hasn't seen, there's this one shot of Connor. I think it is a most muscular, isn't it? And you stick in the quad out. It's
Yeah.
mental conditioning. Like that was a crazy look, wasn't it?
I was so pleased with that look.
Yeah.
So pleased, man. Because again, so I was starting to panic a bit leading into that show because I had some sort of digestive issues like the week prior, and it hit back to me that I was like, this is literally just happening again from what happened at the British last time. Um, but everything kind of fell back into place as we got closer to the show. And I remember when it was a lot. It was like 6 hour, 5 hour drive to get there. And once we got there, I looked in the mirror and I was like, okay, it's on, we're on, like we're
Yeah.
fine. We got there a day early anyway, so we did like the carb load and stuff there. And I remember just taking pictures and sending them to Tom, and I was like, yeah, mate, we're good, we're fucking good. I was so happy with it.
I think what astonished me when it like popped up on my Instagram was just like the fucking difference between 2023 and then 2025. It's like you were just like, obviously you were a phenomenal bodybuilder then, but like you went from like a good bodybuilder to like a fucking open bodybuilder, like proper heavy heel bodybuilder. Mental. I mean, how
But
much
yeah,
muscle have you put on
that
that
was so the
period?
difference. The difference from stage weight between
It's
2023
mental.
and 2024 was 20 pounds, so about 10 kilos.
Yeah.
Um, and I was leaner,
And you're
way.
leaner 2025.
So it was a
A lot of
significant
mass.
difference, which was really cool.
What was that off season like then between 2023 and 2025?
A lot of food, a lot of just
Yeah,
heavy lifts. The whole off season was just focused on getting as strong as I physically can. Um, I had, I went back to basics with training. I I started getting help from, Nat Asthma.
yeah, I
Um,
do. Yeah,
yeah. So I remember I reached out to him.
very strong,
Yeah,
very
yeah. We,
strong.
we were quite good friends. I think he was training with or being trained by Dan Bastick at the time, and I remember
Yeah,
watching the videos, and it was like the type of training I wanted to do. I wanted to go back to the basic movements, just
bread
lift
and
and get.
butter. Yeah,
Yeah. So I was like, look, I reached out to him to get some help with programming a little bit because, like I say, I know what to do myself, but I will inevitably end up doing the ones I want to do, not the ones I need
yeah.
to do.
Yeah, it's just
So
gonna lead you to that path anyway. Yeah,
exactly. So I'd rather just reach out to someone and just be like, look, can you tell me? I was still working with Tom. Obviously, he was doing my food and my drugs and everything. And I reached out to Nat and I was like, could you look at my physique and then just go with you take training, you take the reins with training, tell me what to do. Um, and like the whole focus was on get fucking strong, like just lift as much as I can.
yeah.
I saw progressions from every lift, but like Cybex hack was like I
Oh
was
yeah, I know.
it, and I was getting reps. It did end up fucking my knees a little bit towards the end, but like
Yeah, yeah,
I was getting so for me, I was getting so strong so quick. Um, and I do genuinely think that that's the way to go. You just have to lift heavy load.
yeah. Honestly, like, yeah, bombastic, and then those guys are just fucking mental. I remember like there's a video of Dan Bassett like pulling like 405 kilos of fucking bodybuilder. I mean, who does that? That's like strongman level strength, and he and he's got so much muscle. And that I think he pulls definitely over like 320 like for
Yeah,
reps.
yeah,
Like
yeah. Easily. I think the
impressive,
minimum pull for him is easy 300. So it's like
and it's
just levels of
mental
strength.
bodybuilders. So reflecting back over your period of first getting into bodybuilding and then now, do you think your journey has been what you thought it was going to be, or do you think it's been better than what you thought?
I think it's different. I think at the start I envisioned Gymshark photo shoots, magazine cover, that type of life of fitness model, not bodybuilder. So I
Mm,
think it changed quite rapidly and quite a different path really. But I think from the moment I started getting invested into the actual bodybuilding scene, where I am now is I didn't think I was going to be at this point this quickly in terms of like brands that I work with or social media or to be fair levels with competing. I did the fact that I won my class as a junior. I won a pretty big heavy super sorry a pretty big light heavyweight class. I won that as a
yeah,
junior. And I beat the super heavyweight in the overall. Like I did not think I was going to be doing that at 22, to be honest.
yeah. I mean, the amount of muscle you have, how old you are, I mean, it's not actually seen that much. That's why it's so mental. Like your physique is someone who's like a peak 35-year-old bodybuilder. Like it's mental, and you've got so much time to just like imagine you in 10 years. I mean, the IFBB Pro card, it's coming soon, but it's definitely coming soon, and you know that as well. Just a matter of time, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's the thing that I've always said. At least I've said more recently. I'm not in a rush for it because
Of course, yeah,
I genuinely do think that if you turn pro before you're ready to compete as a pro,
yeah. You can't beat a
you're
pro.
you're just stuck. Like
Yeah,
you
yeah, I
see some
know.
people who turn pro and then they have to take 3 or 4. Obviously, you can't compete as an amateur again. So you have, unless you give it up, but you have to take 3 or 4 years to even be competitive.
Yeah, I
So
know. Yeah,
it's kind of it take, and I enjoy competing, so it takes that away. I
yeah.
think I was actually talking to a few people about this yesterday. I think the best route, especially in the UK, that you could go down is PCA. You
Mm.
could grow in PCA if you can win money and be competitive and keep growing.
good level as well. Like there's some serious competition
Yeah,
in
yeah,
PCA
yeah.
and the
A
pro
good
levels.
standard. They have good prize money. If you can do it, smash that, keep growing. As soon as you think that you're ready, go and turn pro. Do you know Dean White, the 212 competitor from the
I,
UK?
I think I do. I think I know who you're on about, but like it's not off. Like
So
it's not right there.
he did that a couple of years ago. He turned PCA pro, won multiple PCA pro shows, made quite a bit of money doing it. Was kept growing throughout the whole process. Obviously, did one, I think it was one or two NPC shows, turned pro, won his pro debut, and went to Olympia straight away. That's fucking
Yeah,
sick. Like,
yeah.
didn't waste any time. I think that is, unless you're a freak of nature and
And you shouldn't go
you're
out
ready
all
to
out
go,
for it.
then I think that's the route. I think that's probably one of the
Yeah,
most lucrative routes, at least. You can make money that way.
yeah. I think that's. I actually haven't thought about that. So everyone listening, please tune into what Connor's just said about basically like just competing in the amateur. Because what you're saying is actually really interesting because it is true for a lot of people. Because obviously the amount of pro cards given now are just it's significantly a lot more than like back at the UK BFF, back in the day when it was only one a year. Like what you're saying is like if you turn pro, then you can't compete. You are stuck. You've got to take 3 or 4 years to even place or even be inside the top 10.
Yeah.
So just enjoy the process of being an amateur and getting good as amateur, and then going on to that next level of bodybuilding and be able to compete as a pro in that level.
I remember speaking to James about it quite a long time ago, and he basically reiterated what I think Flex Lewis said to him, and it was like, be the best amateur you can be for as
Yeah,
long as you, because when you're ready to go pro, there's no going back to doing amateur shows.
yeah. Unless
So
you obviously
unless
terminate it,
you,
why would you do that? You
yeah,
just earned it.
exactly. So it's a case of, look, if you want to be a good amateur, dominate the amateurs. Dominate them. Do every show you can, win every show,
Yeah,
every trophy, every title, every British title, every world title that you can, because you can't win that again once you're pro.
yeah,
M-
exactly.
So make the most of it. When you're ready to go pro, go pro. Then do it. There's no point going. Yes, it's cool to turn pro when you're young. It's fucking cool. Like if you're 22, 23, 24, and you get your pro card, hats off. That's fucking cool. But then you've got to sit around and wait. I don't see any fun in that. I think that's like, yeah, you get to grow and you get to do all the fun shit, but then you also don't get to do like if you genuinely enjoy competing, I think you should just compete for as long as you can as an amateur.
I think what's really interesting, like Eagles, he turned pro very. How old was he? He turned like 21, and
21,
also
22, yeah.
and he was very competitive. Detroit pro, like not even that long ago, but I think yeah, it's just crazy. Like some physiques just blow my mind.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to on the back of that, um, how do you feel as though you like in terms of competing? When are you going to try and go for the pro card? Like obviously you say like you want to compete as amateur as long as you can, but obviously there has to be a goal in sight to get that IPP pro card at some point. Obviously, as you said, there needs to be some sort of structure with that, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah, of course. I mean, I will still like as much as I say that I wouldn't want to rush it. I am still going to be like throwing myself into those pro qualifiers because
Yeah,
I want to test myself. I want to see where I'm at. So I mean, the original plan was to do one this year after Scotland. I was
yeah, I know,
meant
yeah.
to go to
Sweet.
Sweden, which would have been really, really cool because it was a good show. So next year, the plan is to definitely do one. So next year is my last year as a junior. And because of what happened at the PCA British in 2023, where I fucked up and I didn't place how I wanted to place, um, I'm gonna I'm gonna aim to do the PCA British this year as a junior for the last time, because my birthday is 2 or 3 days after the British every year, so it's literally my last chance by a couple of days. Um, so the plan would be to do a Two Bros regional at some point, a PCA show to qualify for the British, then go do the PCA British, and then after the PCA British, once I win the British title, we'll go and do a pro qualifier somewhere. So whether that be in the UK or we go to like Spain or Portugal or Italy or something like that, depending where the shows are, um, that's my game plan.
Yeah, so I don't know how many people are aware, but why didn't you compete at Sweden? Because obviously you had a few problems. Like, can you explain that to obviously the people watching what happened and why you didn't go to do the embassy at Sweden?
Yeah, so we we were in Scotland obviously for the Scottish Two Bros show. And then whilst we were away, we had a mains pipe at our house burst. Obviously, whilst we weren't there, it was upstairs and it was leaking hot water all over our bedroom. So it's like the bathroom that was in our bedroom was leaking. Um, and it was the guys that came over and checked it were like it would have had to be leaking for at least a day or probably two. So pretty much the whole time we were gone, it was leaking, um, which led to all the water going through the floorboards and then the ceiling downstairs like fell through. Um, our house, we basically came back from Scotland and we were homeless straight away. Um, so we were living in a hotel in like a travel lodge for trying to figure out where to live, like trying to find somewhere new. Um, at the time, we thought we had insurance, so we were like trying to figure out how to get our money back, how to get some money to like put towards a new house and stuff like that. Figured out we didn't have insurance, so everything that we lost, we didn't get anything back for. Obviously, the stuff that we had on us, like luckily we had like laptops and computers and stuff, we were fine. So we could still work, which was the main thing. We can obviously keep doing that. Um, we had to move everything into this travel lodge, so we were there for about 10 or 11 days, I think. Um, and originally, I thought it was going to be max a week, and then we would have somewhere to live, and then I would fly straight to Sweden. So I was continuing prepping. Um, the travel lodge was next to a pure gym, so I was going back and forth doing cardio, doing steps. I was training in there because, to be honest, I didn't really want to be talking to anyone. So obviously I normally train at House of Gains, um, and I couldn't be asked to go through the conversation of what's happening every day, more and more. And I was like, I'm just going to go
Yeah,
to Pure Gym. I trained in Pure Gym for the 2 weeks or for the week at the time. Um, and I had a good routine going, but the longer we were in there, my head kept going, and I was like, what am I trying to do? Like,
yeah,
I'm trying to prioritize bodybuilding when I don't even have a house. Like,
yeah, yeah,
I need to put my life first here. Um,
yeah,
and it was around the same time where just pulled out of his prep because he did Detroit and then Arnold's and Detroit or whatever, and then pulled back for a few shows um, because he wasn't happy with the look and stuff. And I remember I called him. I went to like a Costa and I was like, I need to ask for advice. So I called him and we were on FaceTime for like 15, 20 minutes. And he basically just was like, look, you need to do what's best for you, man. Like if the stage is always
yeah,
going to be stage is always going to be there. You can come back
exactly.
later in the year if you want to, but don't put competing over like finding a place to live because
Yeah,
you could go compete, not win, come back and still be homeless. So
yeah,
you want to
yeah,
just find somewhere to live first. And that did kind of put things into perspective. So I was like, yeah, cool. I told Tom what the conversation that I had, and then he kind of agreed. Obviously, I was gutted. He was gutted. We really wanted to go to Sweden, and it was all paid for. So I that was like obviously annoying as well. Um, and then the plan was to try and skip Sweden, sort out somewhere to live, continue prepping, and do the PCA universe because like it was a couple weeks later, so I had a bit more time that I could probably fit that in, if everything kind of fell into place. But what I think once my head was out of it for the Sweden show, I was fully just focused on like I need to fix everything else
she's a
that's going
fix your fucking life. Yeah,
exactly like everything felt like it was falling apart. So I was like, I can't prep. My head's not in it.
yeah,
So just we ended up just pulling the plug, and I think it was the best decision I could have made. Um, I remember watching Instagram on the day of the PCA Universe, and I think there was only like two juniors, and I was like, I'm actually quite happy I didn't do it because I would have been gutted if I prepped through all of that to then show
Yeah,
up.
exactly. Because you
Have
want competition. Yeah,
Yeah, I think I would have been more annoyed if I did that. So I was
yeah,
actually, when I look back, I was like, okay, cool. I made the right decision. And for me, like my headspace mentally, I made the right decision at the time. It was hard. It was really, really hard because like I kept telling myself it was like, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. But like when you've lost everything, like everything
yeah.
you own is gone, and you just have to start
Can't
again.
imagine. Can't
Bro,
imagine.
I remember like at that point as well, like with the drugs that you're having at the back end of prep, they always kind of send your head a little bit sideways anyway, and you're a bit numb to like emotions or feeling anything towards the end of prep. And when I remember just opening the door when we got back from Scotland and seeing all the house basically falling apart, and
Yeah,
I just turned around and I just started laughing, and I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "I don't know
yeah.
what to do." Tom was the first person I called. I was like, "Bro, what do I do?" So yeah, it was a nightmare to be honest, man. But like I think I had four shows planned and we only did one. So I've got the itch to compete like again. I had the itch straight.
2026.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Coming
100%.
soon. Stay fucking tuned, guys, for that.
Yes, sir.
But I think what you're saying is like, I think you completely did the right thing. Obviously, I can't speak on your scenario, but looking at it from a different perspective, like you're doing just going on to like try and just do more preps, like more competitions after that. The home's destroyed. As you said with the drugs, just being that lean and just the food and like it's just not in that right place. And like even though I haven't competed myself yet, there's a reoccurring theme from other bodybuilders saying if you're going to bodybuild, if you're going to compete in a show, you've got to make sure your life is stable. Everything is just stable so you can do it because the motions of it, mate, I don't think everyone fucking loses a house before going to NPC Sweden, do they? So,
That's
you
that's
know,
that's just it, though. Like everything was the opposite of stable.
yeah,
I didn't have, but we didn't have anywhere to live, and then if we were going through the whole thing of trying to get our landlord to cover the costs of the hotel because obviously they have to legally, but they weren't at the time. We managed to get it, but they weren't at the time. So we were paying. It was like £70 per night.
it's
And obviously prep's
expensive
expensive,
now.
so like money was pretty low anyway. And then it was like £70 per night to stay in some shitty travel lodge, and it ended up being like what was it 10, 11 days? So it was like 750 plus pounds per night.
Yeah,
For the time. I was running out of money. Couldn't find anywhere to live at the time. Obviously, because we've got a dog, not many places like having dogs. So it's like we genuinely were running out of ideas. So the whole stability thing that you need for prep was non-existent.
yeah, yeah. I think on the back of that, I wanted to talk about like adversities you faced during your career as bodybuilder. Like I know before that there's been multiple things which have been, like forced on you and how you've overcome them. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? Like just like what you've faced throughout your time from being 17 to where you are now and how you've overcome those challenges and kept going, kept being a fantastic bodybuilder.
Yeah, yeah. I so a lot of people who've followed me for a long time have obviously saw when I moved back to Croydon, when I moved out of my family home, I moved in with Marvin. Um,
Yeah.
who he basically got me into bodybuilding like properly. I think he was working at King's at the time, and he was like the first person that kind of started speaking to me more about training. And we did like one training session together, and then we kind of just carried on while I was at college, and then obviously when I moved back to Korea, we ended up moving in together. And we did everything like we filmed together, we posted all
Yeah.
of our content, like it was sick. We had a great friendship.
Big
Everything was
videos.
yeah, I fucking love them. I watch them back sometimes and think like, wow, this is fucking sick.
Yeah. They
Um,
are golden, mate.
yeah, they're awesome. I'm happy that we've got them. Um, then a whole bunch of shit happened. Um, we were both
Yeah.
we were both very irresponsible in terms of like bills. And we ended up just getting into a load of debt. Um, had bailiffs at the door. We ended up having to move from Croydon. we found a flat that would take us in Birmingham. So we just packed our shit up and went straight to Birmingham, moved into a flat there. Um, and then, yeah, just a whole bunch of shit happened. Like, I obviously met Lucy at that point. So I was traveling back and forth from Birmingham to Leeds. Marvin was staying in Birmingham with his girlfriend at the time. So we were just doing our own thing, but still obviously bodybuilding together when we could. And then I remember coming back down to Birmingham because it was still my flat. So I came back down. Um, I left my stuff in my room and I went out to the shop and I came back and all my shit was gone. Like my bag with my camera was gone, all my gear was gone, everything was gone. And I was like, it doesn't like no one else is here. Marvin's out, he's been out the whole time. Um, and then I realized my window was open. So someone climbed in and broke into the flat and took all my shit. Um, which was it was really fucking weird because I had my laptop on my desk that was still there. Like they took really specific things. Like my laptop had my SD card plugged into it because I was downloading videos from that day. Um, but they took the SD card out and left the laptop, but then took the camera.
Makes no sense.
Someone knew what they were taking basically. So they took
Also,
the
know who you were as well.
exactly they took the SD card, they took the camera, all my gear, which like wasn't out or anything. Somehow they knew which drawer it was in. They took all of that. Um, and a lot of it, and like I can't confirm what happened because I don't know. I have my suspicions it had something to do with him, but we just kind of went our separate ways at that point. Which is sad. Like we were basically fucking brothers at the point. Um, and we just kept on doing our own thing. But I mean, that and then obviously losing the house is probably the most like adversity I'd say that I've faced. Being able to just bodybuild around it, it's probably the most beneficial thing I could have done. I think in terms of keeping my head on, just going to the gym. Like going to the gym clears everything for me. If
Yeah.
I'm stressed about whatever situation is happening, if I'm stressed about fucking where I'm gonna live, what happens, like training is what sorts me out, and training will clear my head, and training will be always there to help me. And that's literally all I would do is just go and train, go and train, and then I'd have a clear head to kind of think, what's the next step?
I think bodybuilding is and training it is magical. Like people will look at it from a perspective that they don't bodybuild, they don't understand. Like you can be having the worst fucking day of your life and you can have an insane chest session and you feel absolutely fine. It's mental, isn't it? The effect it has, and also the routine, the structure it gives your life. Even if you're like you said, like your house is gone, you've had all the problems in Marvin, like, it's all fucked. But you have bodybuilding, which is giving you that route and that structure, which kept you going. And look at you now, you know. So that's why it's one of the arguably one of the best supplement companies. Like basically now, it's like phenomenal products. You're going to compete next year. Life's all good. You've got a new house. Do you know what I mean? All because of bodyboarding.
Exactly. I'm forever grateful for bodybuilding and what it can bring. Opportunities, people that I've met, it's all come from lifting weights and posting and talking to people and meeting people, and it's fantastic, man. I genuinely look back and I'm incredibly grateful for even the bad things that happened. I mean, I'm grateful for them to happen because it's made me everything that happens makes you who you are. The good and the bad. So you have to take it as it is and just keep moving forward with it.
Yeah. So I just want to touch on about training because I've never heard your opinion on the new science-based training and everything. So I honestly kind of like haven't seen anything about it from you. Like I just love to know your thoughts on what's happening now with obviously all the soft training and everything. And yeah.
I think it's absolutely fucking dog shit. I think I think bodybuilding's taken in terms of the training side of things that gets posted. To be fair, don't get me wrong, I do think a lot of it is like rage bait or whatever they call it. I think a lot of the shit that you see probably isn't real, but then the odd one that you see is definitely real, and it winds me up to the max because I just it's the people that have zero muscle zero like backing behind their physique or training years or whatever you want to say, who are telling you what to do and are so like set on, oh, this study says this. Okay, well, what the fuck, man? It's so like just literally just do the basics. It's way more fun. It's way more fun to just train the basic
Yeah.
way, in my opinion.
Building it builds so much more strength. Like I know people can say what they want about machines and shit, but going into a deadlift or a bench press, like that is everything has to be right. The core has to you have to be engaged. Everything has to be one bad move, it's fucked. The set's gone. But on a machine, you can just, you can just do it again. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't just build physical strength, it builds a different type of strength. And you know that as well because Connor's bench pressing, dead, they've been doing it for years, and you still do it to this day. Like you post a recent Instagram, and it's just dumbbell press, marble press. That's it. You know what I
I
mean?
think the basics have always worked, and I think they always will work. I do think there are obviously smarter ways to go about it. But at the end of the day, the foundations are there, and I think they need to be stuck to. I don't think you need to go any other way really, unless you need to work around some sort of injury, maybe. I think you just do the basics.
Yeah. So just touching a bit on nutrition and everything, what would you say? How does your nutrition change in prep and off season? Because again, I don't know that much about your nutrition, so I think that'd be interesting for people to hear about how does it change from prep to off season, and what sort of foods you utilize, and what your favorite foods you have.
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, it's just the difference in how much from when it comes to prep to off season. My food is very, very similar prep to off season in regards to food choices. Um, I find a lot of people don't tend to sit well with or digest well when it comes to like bread-based like bagels or stuff like that. I'm fucking sound with them. I could go a day where I eat fucking 10 bagels and my digestion's fine.
Yeah,
So a lot of bread-based stuff works pretty well with me. Bagels are utilized. Obviously rice pudding, that type of shit always sits well. I never overcomplicate it. I don't think to be honest, I eat three chicken and rice meals a day and I'm fine with it.
yeah,
I
bodybuilding now.
yeah, I don't mind it. Like a lot of people are like, oh, do you not want to like have variety? I like it. I think it tastes nice. It's a good meal. And it's
Yeah,
easy to eat, it's easy to cook, it's easy to batch prep. So it's like, why not? My food doesn't really change in terms of um food choices or food options when it comes to prep versus off season. I think you don't really need to, unless it's like obviously if you want to take salmon out, bring the fats down for prep, stuff like that, obviously, but or like the red meat content, stuff like that. But I think if you can stick with what digests best for you through the off season and prep, you're gonna have a more successful prep.
yeah. So, what would you say your favorite off-pan meal is, and your favorite go-to off-pan meal,
I'm a
dessert and main?
I love pizza. I could smash. I would. What I used to do. To be fair, I did it 3 days ago, 4 days ago. Um, Obviously you can go for like the Dominoes, but I always feel like shit after I eat Dominoes. So
Yeah, yeah, it's awful, isn't it?
in my head I'm like Dominoes is banging, but then as soon as I eat it, I'm like I feel like shit.
Yeah, it's
Pizza
awful.
Express, however, Pizza Express is very, very nice, but
It's good, isn't it?
they're just small. So it gets expensive. That's why I don't do it that often. I'll get three pizzas from Pizza Express, and I'll eat all three pizzas. If I'm that hungry, I'll get calamari as a starter because I like that. And then if I'm still hungry afterwards, I'll maybe have like Ben and Jerry's or like some sort of ice cream after. Um, I'd say that's like if I could do that weekly, I would. I'm quite glad I can't because like it fucking Pizza Express is so much it's way more expensive than Domino's, but it is worth it. It's much nicer.
Yeah. Domino's already is extortionately expensive as well. They're all
Mm.
expensive, aren't they, nowadays? Like
Yeah, they're all
pizza, like yeah, I don't even get deals, but like you just get a regular pizza for like 25 quid. So it's very expensive. So
yeah,
I just want to, just come to a close about your coaching because I think I know it's called atomic coaching, isn't it?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Just when did you first get into online coaching and how is it now?
Yeah,
How's it going now?
I first started coaching in lockdown, beginning of lockdown, I think, or just before lockdown, maybe. When I was in college, I was doing like a fitness course where I did my level two gym instructor course as well. So I was getting into all of that, and then my plan was to go and be a PT. But then, obviously, when lockdown hit, I didn't get to go do my level three PT course. So I was like, I saw everyone kind of offering training plans or whatnot in the beginning of lockdown because that was like the move that you would make as a PT would be to go online. So I started offering a few people at my college training plans because like for free. I was like, look, if you just let me help you and then you let me for free, then you let me use the results that I can get with you as advertisement, then
Yeah.
that's like that payment for me. And two of them said yeah, so I did it with them. I remember posting about it, and then I had one or two people reach out to me through Instagram. I think at that point it was, I think I still did them for free as well, to be honest, or it was something cheap, something very cheap. And I was going through it. I ended up it was more just through like text, and then I ended up copying AJ Morris had like a YouTube video on like how to make Google Sheets or something. So I
Yeah.
copied it. I made my own Google Sheets, and then I got a few more people on. I was charging something like I think it was like £50 for the month or something. I had them on. I was helping them, and then from there we moved through to just building on that. I'd get. I think I got up to like five people. Started charging a little bit more, maybe like from 50 to 75 or something like that. Had a few more people, posted some more results, got some more clients. People left, people come. It was a bit like weird through lockdown because obviously people weren't working. Um, and then afterwards, I went and worked in a Bannatyne leisure centre or Bannatyne gym as like a gym instructor, and I started picking up people through the gym um, just before the gym closed down. So I got made redundant because that gym was shutting down, but I managed to get like four or five, I think, or three or four clients from there, and I had just enough to cover my bills. So I was like, I can scrape by on food and stuff as long as my bills are being paid and my rent is being paid. And then I just worked on getting like one more client, two more clients, three more clients coming in, and I was making just enough to start actually like paying for shit and living not comfortably, but paying my way through work. Um, Now I'm sitting at 22, 23 clients. And like I know coaches who have like 50, 60, 70 clients. I've got 22, 23, and they're all hardworking, good fucking lads who I love helping and I love training them. And mate, it's genuinely a dream. Like I do not feel like I'm working at all. Like it's so
Yeah.
fun. I love it.
That's amazing. You'd be able to do something you love and also do bodybuilding side.
Yeah.
You know, do you think do you think having a small amount of clients but giving more effort and time towards them is better than having like 100? Because I do think I think you see coaches, not naming anyone specifically, but you see them have hundreds of clients, but are they really giving their time to them? I mean, I've heard stories of very well-known coaches in the UK who don't even fucking respond to check-ins from people, you know. And that is a
Yeah.
duty if you're paying someone 150, £250 a month. You've got to provide a service. You know what I mean?
It's a job at the end of the day. Just because you're choosing your own hours and you're choosing your own prices doesn't mean it's not a job. Like they are paying you for your time. They are paying you for your service. And if you're not providing it, they'll go to someone who can. And that's the thing. I think if you can have a smaller client, don't get me wrong, there are definitely coaches who have like big client bases and still give them that service. Like I know some people who are fucking really good at it. But I think that if you can have it as like you know your limitations on how many people you can manage and still give them all 100%, if you can work in that area, mate, your service is always going to be good.
Yeah. Just a few quick fire questions from me, just out of a curiosity standpoint. What are your top five favorite films of all time?
Oh, mate, I'm such a nerd for
You hear
films.
me, Connor?
I love films. I top five. It's actually a difficult question for me. Interstellar,
Yeah, I know, I know.
Interstellar, number one.
Yeah, great film. Great soundtrack.
Yeah, it's amazing. Dark Knight, Rises, um, Batman
Yeah.
Begins in third. To be fair, a lot of these are Christopher Nolan films. Um, so Dark Knight Rises, Batman Begins, Interstellar was first. Django Unchained is fucking cool. Really,
Oh, oh,
yeah.
fantastic film, isn't it? Fantastic.
What would be five?
Seriously good, that is.
What was it called? Came out last year. Another Christopher Nolan film, the one about the
Oppenheimer.
atomic bomb.
Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oppenheimer. That was a fantastic film. We went and watched
Oh,
that. It was so good.
a journey, wasn't it? It's a journey of a film, isn't it?
Amazing.
Fantastic performance from Cillian Murphy, isn't it?
Oh,
Fantastic.
I love it. I'm such a film nerd. I will rewatch a film five, six, seven times. I think I've watched
Yeah,
Interstellar upwards of 10 times just because it's that fucking good.
yeah. And if it's good, you can just it hits every time you watch it, doesn't it?
Mm.
So what would you say your top five series is like of all time are then?
Breaking Bad has to be number one. It's my
Yeah.
I think I've watched it three times all the way through. Suits is really cool. Um, we just finished. What did we just watch? Um, the Monsters series on Netflix, the ones about like all the murderers. They've got like the um, Ed Gein one just came out. Like all of
Oh
those,
yeah.
they're really cool. They're like true crime kind of things. I like them. Um, what else have we watched? Uh, there's a show called Ballers, which is Dwayne Johnson, about like American footballers and like the money in sport. That's really cool. And I'd say Snowfall is definitely in my top five as well.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So what would you say your favorite place to visit on holiday is?
Favorite place on holiday? I don't know, man. I like cold countries. I'm not gonna lie. I like going obviously on like summer holidays in Spain and stuff like that, beaches. But I really like going. I used to go skiing quite a lot when I was young. So I'd say anywhere like in the Alps, like the mountains are fuck it. They're so cool. They're so peaceful, so relaxing.
Yeah. And just closing on, the final question I want to ask you is, what's something you absolutely love which isn't bodybuilding? Like a hobby you do which isn't bodybuilding, but you still do it today.
Do you know? I don't know if you could count it as a hobby, but like watching films, I
You
would go
can,
to
yeah.
I'd go to the cinema every day if I could. On prep, that was like my way of dealing with days where I was like struggling. I'd
Really shit, yeah.
go watch a film because it's like you get to just shut out from the what your phone's off, you've got no distractions, you get to live a different life by watching and like experiencing a film. I love it, man.
It is, isn't it? Like you again, we had a shit day and you can just go in the cinema and it's just
Mm.
you completely zone out.
Yeah, it's like an escape. It's
Yeah,
I love it. And like sometimes they play like old films or like they'll play like popular films on
yeah,
TV.
yeah,
I think we went back and watched. They had all the old Spider-Men in order, and we went
yeah,
and
yeah,
watched Batman's came out again. Like that's like the best day ever if I see that one of those are on.
yeah. So just I just want to ask you a few more questions. What does legacy mean to you as a person? What impact do you want to leave when your time is gone and you've passed on in terms of being a bodybuilder and having your career? What impact do you want to leave?
Yeah, bro. I if you obviously if you watch my old YouTube videos, I used to have a series called The Launder Legacy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Back in the day, I just want to be able to look back at a career that I had, and say I gave it everything. Like I have gone as far as I physically fucking can. That's what I
yeah,
want to look back and say. Like there is no stone left unturned. Whether that means I turn pro or I don't, or I go to Olympia or I don't, or I win whatever or I don't. As long as everything that could have been done has been done, I'm happy with it because I've dedicated everything I wanted to dedicate to it has gone into this, right? obviously the whole side of like building a following, building a yeah, but I mean building a following that can inspire. That is the dream. If I can help get people into the sport and get more money into the sport and get more eyes on the sport, then that's the goal for sure.
Would you say that's the end goal? Would you say that's like what you want to achieve right at the end, like the pinnacle of what you want to do in bodybuilding is to motivate people, but also be a phenomenal athlete?
Agreed. I would love to just you know how there's bodybuilders who have gone and passed and they still get spoken about because
Rich
of
Garner,
yeah, they get spoken about because of their influence or because of how they looked or how they trained or what they won. I want to be one of those names that's always kind of mentioned around bodybuilding. That's the plan. That's the goal.
and if you could talk to 18-year-old Connor and to the young audiences, because a lot of people watching this will be about my age, 18, 19, 20, what would you, what advice would you give to people watching in bodybuilding? Just something that you learned yourself, maybe through a hard way or whatever. What would you tell people?
When it comes to the social media side of things, just don't give a shit. It's
Yeah,
something I've said to other people before. It's something that I respect you a lot for because
yeah,
you've posted multiple times a day for a long fucking time. Um, and regardless of what anyone's said to you or like said about you or said or posted, like you just keep doing you, which is sick. And I think that is the best way that you can do this. I think that's how you're going to be Mungo. That's how you're going to be the best version of you is literally by being you. Because I think the moment that you start to fake it, the moment that you start to act how you think people want you to act,
yeah,
it goes. People see straight through that so fucking quickly. And whether they hate you or love you for it, you being you is the best thing possible. And I think if you're looking to pursue social media through alongside bodybuilding or alongside gym, fitness, whatever, um, be real. Be as real as you
yeah,
physically can. Be as vulnerable, be as open as you can, because that's what people like. People like following and like watching people who can be open and be honest and be transparent about everything, the good, the bad, the ugly. Everything needs to be shown because I think if you just show all the good bits, people are going to see through that. You see all these people that influencers who end up moving to Dubai, mate, they're not fucking posting their bad days. They're posting the
no,
views of the Burj Khalifa and they're posting the new Louis bag they just bought. They're not posting the days where they're struggling. People love watching the influencers who start filming and start posting at the beginning and see the humble come up because it's relatable. And I think that's the main thing. When it comes to bodybuilding, give it everything. If it's something that you genuinely want to do, give it fucking everything because you are the only one who can control how far you go. You are the only one who has control over how big you can get, how far you can take your competitive career. I remember that's what James told me when I did my first show. He looked at it. I think I got him to look at my pictures because I wanted his opinion, and he said to me, "Bro, you are the only one who has the control to go as far as you want to go. Do with that what you will. If you stop,
yeah,
that's on you. But if you keep going, you can go as far as you want to go." So I think you just genuinely need to commit. Just go all in.
yeah. I think what you're saying is so important because everyone watching this, you've got to understand like what you're saying is like if you don't attack something with everything you've got, you're gonna leave it on the table because you might not be at that door and the opportunity is knocking on the door. You just go in
Mhm.
that extra mile and you get there. Do you know what I mean? And that's why precisely like why I said right at the beginning is, or like I've said multiple times, why you inspire me so much is the raw, authentic come up. Like I think it's so important on social media, not only to be consistent, like, but to show your character, like to speak, to show, what's going on in your life, not just filtered, filtered training, show what you're doing, how you're eating, how you're doing this. Everything about you needs to be shown because it's real. It's not real showing highlighted clips and saying everything's fucking amazing every day because we all know bodybuilding isn't like that. There are days when we don't want to train. There are days when shit goes wrong. sessions get fucked up, you don't progress, things go wrong, and you've got to show that, like you said, because at the end of the day, it's a raw sport and it's authentic.
100%.
So, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on, Connor. It's been a genuine pleasure speaking to you. You know, I had so many people messaging me like, "Oh yeah, Connor's coming on. I can't wait to listen to it. I'm doing my steps. Can't wait to listen to it on my walk." So, guys, I hope you enjoyed listening to this and hearing more about Connor and what he's doing. Honestly, thank you so much for coming on, Connor. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, mate.
Thank you for having me on, man. It was really good conversation.
Yeah, and honestly, keep killing it. 2026 sniper season with Connor coming in hot. He's gonna be taking all those overalls, be taking those PCA pro cards, taking everything. He's coming in hot, aren't you,
Coming,
Connor?
coming for it, bro.
So
The PCA British is coming home with me. So if anyone's doing the junior PCA British, let's fucking
watch
go.
out. Thank you so much again, mate. Follow Connor's Instagram, Connor Launder _ Follow his YouTube. Yeah. Thank you very much for tuning in, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay fucking hungry. See you later, guys.